So this is geometry, arcs, arc length, and sectors. Okay, so this first question, it says find AE, EH, and AHE based on what we're given in degrees. Okay, so these are arc measures, and the only thing that we have so far is that this angle right here is 30 degrees. So because that's a central angle, the vertex of the angle is on the center of the circle right here, then if this angle measures 30 degrees, then this arc is also 30 degrees. So we can say from here on the outside of the circle all the way to there, AE is 30 degrees, okay? So AE is 30 degrees. Then I also know that this from A to H, since it goes through the center of the circle, that's what we call a diameter. So since it's a diameter, it cuts the circle in half. And then I can kind of say, well, half of a circle is 180 degrees. So from A all the way around to H this way, or from A all the way around to H this way, those are both 180 degrees, okay? So if that whole thing is 180 degrees from A through E all the way around to H, if that's 180 degrees, then in order to find this arc right here, I'm going to do 180 minus the one we just found, which is 30 degrees. So 180 minus 30 is 150 degrees, okay? So that part from E to H, so from E to H is 150 degrees. Okay, then it says find the measure of AHE. So I'm going to go start at A, go through the point H all the way around to E. So it's basically all of the circle except for that little part right there, that little 30 degrees. So I kind of think in terms of a full circle is 360 minus that little part was 30 degrees. So 360 minus 30 is 330 degrees. Another way you could approach that is we said that this part over here, from A to H, that part alone is 180 degrees. So if we add 180 and then all the way around to E 150, you also get 330, which was what we got for the first part, or the first method. All right, next one. So this says angle RPS is congruent to angle SPT. So this angle right here is congruent to this angle right there, which is why they have the same little mark. And then we know based on the other mark here, this little box in the corner means that this angle is 90 degrees. Excuse me. So RS and ST, I know that these little arcs are the same because those angles are the same. And then so I'm looking for RS, SU, and also SRU. Okay, so what I know so far is that since this angle is a 90-degree angle, then this arc is also 90 degrees. So the measure of that arc from T to U is 90 degrees, okay? So then again, if I look at, like, this goes through the center of my circle, we call that a diameter. That means the top half above RU is 180 and the bottom half below RU is 180. So I'm going to do different color pencils this time. So from here, R to U, that much is 180. And then again, I also know this top half from R all the way around to U this way is also 180. So if that part is 90, then the rest of this from R all the way to T is 90 as well, because I know that the top half is 180, and if I subtract 90, all I have left over is 90. And then these are the same. So if those are the same, then technically that part, like each of those little parts, so this part and this part is half of that 90-degree angle. So I'm going to do 90 divided by 2, and I get 45. Okay, so this arc is 45, and this arc is also 45. Okay, so the bottom half is 180, the top half is 180, then we just use like that 90 that we're given, we kind of find the other pieces. So now let's find the arcs that we're looking for. So RS, from R right here to S, that we just found was 45 degrees. Okay, then we have SU. I already used purple. So SU from S all the way over here to U. I actually need to, oops, let's just try that again. So from S all the way over here to U, I need to add this 45 piece and this 90 piece. So 45 plus 90, that's going to be 135 degrees. And then maybe I'll do a highlighter this time. So S through R to U. So start at S, go through R all the way around to U. I just need to add those two pieces together. So I have 45 plus 180. So 45 plus 180, okay? And that's gonna give us 225. There you go. Okay, this next one said leave your angle leave the arc measure in terms of arc length in terms of pi. So this is arc length. It's a little different than arc measure. So we know the measure of this angle right here is 45 degrees. So the measure of the arc is 45. That means the measure of this angle is also 45. Now to find arc length, I'm just going to put it in like terms here. So this is not really how the formula is written, but this is how I kind of think of it. So whatever your angle is, or whatever your arc is, so FR is 45 degrees, and then that little angle, the little central angle, is also 45 degrees. So 45 out of 360, the angle out of 360 times, you're finding the part of the arc. So we do 2 pi r, which is circumference, okay? So for us, we're gonna put in our angle, which is 45 degrees. So I'm gonna say 45 over 360 times 2 pi, and then my radius is right here, 28 millimeters, okay? Now, when I do this, it says leave it in terms of pi. What that means is that basically I'm gonna multiply all the numbers. So I'm gonna multiply the 45 out of 360 times 2 times 28, but I'm gonna leave the pi alone. So in my calculator, I'm just going to enter exactly like that. So parentheses 45 out of 360 times 2 times 28. I just don't multiply the pi, and I get 7. So it's 7 pi millimeters is the arc length around the outside, okay? Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. So this one also asked for arc length, and it just said round it to the nearest tenth, okay? So kind of the same thing here. We have this angle is 60. That means the measure of this arc to get from C to E, that's 60 degrees out of a full circle is 360, okay? Then this time we have the diameter. So what it's showing you is 10 centimeters is all the way across the middle there. So if the diameter is 10, then the radius is half of that. So I'm going to fill in this radius, which is what I need for my formula. We're going to go back and use this formula that we used in the last problem. So the radius is 5 millimeters, okay? So you do your angle out of 360. So we do 60 out of 360 times 2 pi, and then I fill in my radius we just got was 5. Now this one says round to the nearest tenth. So this time I'm just going to multiply it exactly like that, including the pi. So I enter in my calculator 60 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 5. I get 5.23599. It says round to the nearest tenth, so that would be 5.2 because this number is smaller than 5. So 5.2 centimeters. All right, this last little section is area of a sector. So we know the area of a circle is pi r squared. So when we find the area of a sector, which is like a section of the circle, kind of like if you were to think of this circle as a pizza, and then the yellow part is like a slice of pizza or a slice of a pie or something like that. So we do kind of the same thing we just did with arc length formula. We do the angle out of 360, and then this time we're going to multiply by pi r squared because it's area, okay? So let's do it. Our angle, since it just gives us that little symbol in the middle, that means that our angle is 90 degrees. So we're going to say 90 out of 360 times pi, and then I'm going to fill in r. My radius is 16. It gives me squared. So 90 out of 360 times pi, 16 squared. And it does say leave your answer in terms of pi. So I just leave this alone. And again, I'm going to multiply just the numbers in my calculator. So 90, parentheses 90 divided by 360, close my parentheses, times 16 squared. And that's 64 pi. So 64 pi centimeters squared, okay? All right, same thing here. It says find the area of the shaded sector. This time around, your answer to the nearest tenth. So again, since we have this arc length, or sorry, this arc measure right here is 120, we know this angle is also 120. So I just kind of fill that in. So our angle or our arc measure, 120 out of 360 times area of the sector. So area is pi r squared. So pi, our radius is 4 squared. If you're doing it to the nearest tenth, we enter all of that in our calculator, okay? So parentheses 120 divided by 360 times pi and then 4 squared. I get 16.7551, round it to the nearest tenth. So 16 point, since this number is 5 or bigger, I'm gonna say 16.8. And then it was feet, and it's square feet because it is area.